Get on my level, bro. Come on. Man, what a night. What a night. A night that deserves drinking, frankly. Because of my nerves. It's going to be one awesome conversation. I know it already. I can feel it. I want to get on here and talk it out. Because I'm going to try to keep these nerves down. This is a big one. A real big one. I don't know how many of you came on because you know who the guest is. Or if you just came on because you saw that I'm live. But I'm excited. There's one piece of something. My kids are playing with this hat and now it's all dirty. I came on to talk it out, get my nerves out. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Hey, how's everybody doing? A Disney man, how are you? Shaggy, what's up? We have a long time. What do you even call this guy? He's an actor. He's a producer. He's a filmmaker. But we know him as like a stuntman. It's the best way to put it. I'm gonna have to verify that with him. Stuntman type. Punching bag. Victim. Those are all ways to describe our guy tonight for sure. But I think in the recent past, in professional life now, I think it's more of a manager, a filmmaker, a producer. I think those are the big ones nowadays. And I definitely want to get on here a few minutes earlier than I normally do, pre-guest, to let some more people get in. Start telling everybody to get their asses in here. It is a nice day today. It's a very nice day for a Bud Light and an interview. And I'm getting all kinds of excited. What's up, 87? You get one of those cute little wavy thingies. Look at that. You've been waved at, bruh. But yeah, I made this figure for the movie Haggard. If you guys haven't seen Haggard, you're missing out. It's the CKY guys, also Jackass guys, but man, I think it was, did BAM and Audio Shoes fund it, maybe? I know Audio's involved, but it's like half movie, well, 3/4 movie, 1/4 skate, skate flick, which is awesome. You can see a bunch of people skating. Hey, what's up, man? Star Lover. You get a wavy thingy too. So guys, if you hang out for another 10 minutes and you're hanging out during this interview, please ask questions. In the bottom right, if you're on a phone, so Mike, you should be able to ask questions in this little question bubble, or I should say the word bubble with the question mark. Throw your questions in there, anything you want, and I'll go through at the end. The last thing we'll do is probably go through people's questions who are watching. What do you got here, Disney? It's Kirby Mara's birthday, and you'll find this funny. Told me you would go on a date with Disney Princess. I'm at Disney Legends page. What's up, Stro? Oh, Ming Na Wen. I had a big crush on Ming during the ER days. It would have been like 7th, 8th grade. And, man, everyone around me was just white. So seeing like people of other ethnicities on ER, I was like, man, this is incredible. This is great. Even like, Friends was popular. Seinfeld was popular. It's a bunch of stinking whites. And it was cool to see like different types, different people on ER. I remember having a huge crush on Ming, and then a big Boba Fett guy. There's a Boba Fett tattoo, and then she pops up on Boba Fett. I was like, yes. Oh God, Jake's in. Oh Jesus, it's getting real. It's getting really real. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready as all F. All right, good. Someone's already asking questions. Good. Throw them in. Throw them in the questions thingy. Jake, I said I had to get on and just talk it out. I'm like, I can't. My nerves. And that's for sure. I hate saying like biggest guess. I hate saying like better than whoever. But it's just another fucking slammer, man. Another big fucking deal. Yeah, you know what though? Keep dropping CKY stuff. Do it in the bottom, that little word bubble with a question mark, And at any point, I don't feel like he's going to be one of these I'm not really talking types. I doubt it very much. But I wrote so much just to keep him talking for absolutely as long as possible. I only ask 30 minutes of everybody, ever. If they're cool and we're hanging out and we're just chilling, I'll talk all night. But if it's kind of slow, I'll see that like 9:30 mark and fucking bail. Just be done. Ooh, Heather. She looks hot. I gotta find who that is. Breast. Oh, breast. Dude, I was, I don't know if you can call it dad brain anymore. It's just I'm an idiot. I totally forgot about your show. 15 different times you told me. And then you called me that night, and I was literally playing at another dude's house. And I was like, fuck, I totally forgot about it. And then I think it was a late show. Dude, me going out after 11 is rare, for sure. But it looked awesome. I watched your clips, depressed, that I forgot. And, man, you look like you were in heaven on that stage, dude. Rockabilly and surf. I don't think I would have ever put those words on you, ever. But I'm fucking loving it, man. You look like you were fucking loving life, jamming. And, yeah. I can't say I promise I'll get the next one because my memory's shot. But stay on me. I tell this to anybody. Stay on me and keep reminding me and tell me, fuck you, come to the show, and I'll probably fucking go. I had a question for him in honor of Power Rangers. Who's your favorite? My favorite Power Ranger? The green/white Ranger, man. Yeah, I got to meet him too before he died. He was awesome. Totally cool. He had his daughter help run his booth, and I had my kid with me. It was really cool. Everybody was just chilling. No one was, there's some people that if you're at a con and you get to meet them and you're in line, you see them, a lot of people just sign, hand it off. They're very nice. They smile, they answer a question, and you're on your way. And I usually try to get the hell out of the way anyway. But he was one of those types that sat there, came out, was like going fisticuffs with little kids, playing around, taking his time. Adam West was like that. Who else was like that? Ray Park from Star Wars. Oh man, Martin Kove from Cobra Kai. Sensei John Kreese. This is the dude who was like the scariest man alive for like 5 years of my life. Watching him just, and the Cobra Kai guys just beat the shit out of Daniel LaRusso. And then I meet him and he is incredible and he's nice and he comes around. I'm talking to him, telling him Karate Kid stories. He could care less, goes right to my little kid and just playing with him and fake fighting and stuff. And I'm like, this is great. This dude's awesome. Dude's named Frank. Let's see, John. See, I'm behind, man. I met Green Ranger, Blue Ranger, Black Ranger. I still have, and I'm kind of going OG. And I know there's two different classes of OG Power Ranger, but between, I don't know, first and second class of Power Ranger, I want to meet one of every suit color. Is that the best way to say that, PC? Suit color, right? And I missed out on a couple. I missed out on a couple Red Ranger opportunities, a couple Pink Ranger opportunities, but we'll get there. Ray Park told me he celebrated his 23rd birthday during a production of his song. That's awesome. Dude, Ray Park was, man, it looks like he's going through some shit, but he looks like an incredible human being. I got a big Darth Maul bust in the cases here. Big Star Wars guy. But yeah. I think he was 23. I guess it was 30 years ago now. So yeah, already a bunch of questions. Nice. I'm loving this. Is this who I think it is? No way. Oh, cool. I love seeing people come in here, man. Especially guys that I don't know, guys and girls that I don't know like directly. Oh, dude. Jake, good question. I didn't really. I'm going to ask stuff about Philly and Westchester, but I really didn't try to focus on it. But that's a great question. And also, don't you blaspheme about my sheets either. So just watch what you're saying, and it'll be fine. But in this house, we live by sheets. There's my dude. There he is. This is the guy here, me and Josh. If you watched any of these, it's one of my PICs. He decided that laundry was way more important than making any type of appearance here tonight. So I just want everyone watching from here until forever to know that laundry has officially trumped our friendship. Just so everyone's aware. Just so everyone's on the same page. Not my words, Josh's words. He said, I'd rather be doing laundry. Fuck you. All right, that's fine. I don't want you on here anyway. So, Josh, whenever you have a second, shoot me that friend card, and that's fine. Oh, whatever, Josh. I'm fucking with you. Yeah, it is a big one. A couple minutes, you should be on. Team Wawa, really? I mean, all right. I mean, I'm not hating. I think the Jersey Shore guys just did a commercial for Wawa, but I mean, if you're into them, I guess. I think I should have music playing, but I don't know. Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to have some other copyrighted material on, or I don't know. Who cares? But I do get into the zone. I get excited. I get kind of dancey. Being an old ska dude, I put on a band called Inspector. I've talked about them before. If you haven't looked up Inspector, you need to, man. It is Mexican ska, and it is one of the best things I've ever heard. Learned about them when I was in Mexico. Very awesome. And I can't help dancing to El Dejado right before every podcast. Gets me kind of jazzed up, kind of moving around. Get the let out and get on here and talk to you turds. Wawa is his present. She's a little more awkward. See, I don't know where the cutoff is between Wawa and Sheetz. But I know California has nothing close. When I described Get-Go and Sheetz to Californians, they thought I was making it up. And they just kept hearing gas station food. I'm like, no. It's way, way better than you're thinking it is. Way better. Streetlight Manifesto, dude. Man, I used to blast. Mike, you're gonna make me. I'm not gonna remember. I was just talking to Breast about my dad brain. I used to blast that shit on the fraternity house all the time. I'm not gonna remember the names. It was like their singles. It was like their big stuff. Oh, cute babe. Oh, he's here. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Hey, dude, there he is. Bro,
Yo,
dude.
what's happening? Hold on, let me put this light up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
And then, cool. Gotta find a way to, let me see what if I do that, it's fucked. I was like, I gotta get this phone to be charging because
So glad
cool, it is.
someone said it before me. Someone said Kiki before I did. Okay, good. As
Yeah,
long as we got that out there.
yeah, right.
What is up, man?
What's happening? Yeah, thanks
This
for having
is
me on, man.
oh, thank you, man. This is big, man. I started doing this stuff just because I like talking, and it's just going like this. And I would put you right in line with that, man.
Right.
Especially having watched
Hey,
you guys for so long.
do you have to do earphones or can I do it without it?
It sounds good. Sounds good right now.
Yeah, I mean, if I take these off and just listen to you, does that work?
Try it out. The only thing we ever ran into was Instagram tries to edit audio like on the fly, so you might cut out, but we'll know right away. So if you want to try it with it
Let me
out,
try it.
yeah. Test. Sound
Yeah,
good to
can
you?
you hear me?
Yeah. And
Okay, cool.
I don't think you're cutting out at all either. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, sweet.
Someone just told you welcome to the 21st century. I don't know. That was they woke up wanting violence today, I guess.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm such a fucking dinosaur when it comes to that shit, man.
Well, this is cool. I was saying, I started this stuff to just hang out and talk to people, and honestly, it was a bunch of my friends for a while, and then little by little, it just keeps working out. And all I did was ask you. So
Yeah.
appreciate you saying yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, huge for me, man, and I'm glad someone did the Kiki thing right away because let's just get that out of the way. Can you please give me just a second of Kiki so we can not do it the rest of this podcast?
yeah, I don't mind. You could do it. Sorry, I'm sort of unprepared. I'm trying to get this
Good.
charger.
No one watching cares, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah. Welcome to the whatever century this person was talking about.
Yeah,
right. Cool. Yeah, I don't know why I won't charge. All right. Well, hopefully the phone doesn't die.
Sure. Yeah, a
Yeah, no, it's
lot.
funny, man. Like I always laugh because that's one of the things that people always remember is I always say like the full speed shit and the Kiki thing.
I
You know,
try
so they
yeah, and that's how it goes, man. That's what makes it like a cult thing or a following or whatever, like a phenomenon is. You guys might have wrote this shit that was probably sounded so good and so funny, and then people are like,
yeah.
you're like, come on, man. Like, I wrote this thing, I directed this thing, I produced this thing, and like, I'll do the fucking I'll do it, but you know.
Yeah, right. Well, I was always thought like, man, Bobcat Goldthwait really made like a whole career of just that one voice, and
Oh man.
I really didn't exploit it enough. I think I should have went on to do police academies and things
Oh
with that
yeah.
Kiki.
Bring
And
out
I was
the
like,
Kiki
come
costume.
on,
Yeah.
little Kiki. But yeah, no, it's so funny because you haven't done it in a long. Like I hadn't. I went on and did a podcast like the other week and did a little bit on there, but I hadn't done it in so
Yeah.
long. Then you're like, I don't even know, do I still do that thing? You know, but then it's there. It's always like, oh, come on, you little cat. You know, and so, yeah, so it's
Dude.
always, there's
Yeah.
always a bit of that. But, you know, I left because, like, you know, when we talk about it, like when we were younger, it was like my sister and I would always just do these stupid little voices together. But then, like, it became a thing because Phil Margerabev's dad used to call the cat Kitty, and its name was Whiskers, but it became like
Oh,
it
that's
just
funny.
got shortened down to like Kiki, and then we just kept making fun of it, and then Salisbury, like a microwave dinner Salisbury steak was we just kept changing the words with the dumb voice, and it just became Salisbury stew for Kiki. And I think that just it's weird because it was one of those things where you're like, we're just delirious and this is only funny to us and this is the stupidest thing ever, like we're not going to put this out, this would be dumb to even do this, and then it happens to be one of those things. Like I said, I ran full speed and shit and Kiki, and that's about it.
I was just gonna say,
think I did a whole lot of
yeah,
other things, but those two are
yeah,
the ones that
and that's. I
yeah.
think I watched clips. Maybe it was on your page of like you on the other podcast, and I'm like, they're gonna talk about shitting himself, and the first thing I hear is like, so did you take laxative? You're like, yeah, I fucking take laxative. Like it's not a secret. Yeah, I did. And also there's this Kiki thing. So anyway, I have this company, like. But those
No,
things
and
stick,
I
man.
don't mind. I mean, I think it's amazing. I really do. Like, I'm super grateful for having I had the most fun ever with my best friends and got to laugh and travel the world and do all that, and just psyched that I got to have that experience in life. And so, no, I'm super grateful that that's that, and also grateful that it resonated with people and that they got a kick out of it and laughed and like, I think about it in terms of there's so many things like for myself that I'm a fan of that like just kind of helps you escape the bullshit of regular day life, and then
Yep.
you can laugh. Like, a huge fan of Amazon Women on the Moon, and I still quote that
Nice.
shit to friends all the time.
I love that movie.
We were just talking about it today, like when Don No Soul Simmons is like tie a yellow ribbon, right? And we're just dying. But yeah, so many funny things like that, and I just feel like grateful and psyched that people remember that in a good way, and that it brings joy to people. It's rad.
That's all that matters anymore. I mean, especially in this climate, you're like, well, people are remembering this thing that's funny. Like that's all that matters.
They'll
You
cancel
still put it
Kiki
in.
here in no
Yeah,
time.
I'm watching. Yeah, seriously. Like
They're like, that cat
PETA
didn't even
will
know
come
he was
out. Yeah,
talking to him.
you
You're
fed
like,
a cat
so
Salisbury steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't feed that cat.
That's
TV
unheard of. Yeah.
Yeah.
You reminded me. We said Amazon Women on the Moon. I think the first clip might be my favorite with Arsenio, where he just gets fucked up on every part of the apartment and it just falls out of the window. Like, what fucking movie is this?
Yeah.
And even like the fake movie, the fake space movie that's going on the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a minute. I was so much younger. I'm like, I saw it really young, and I'm like, I don't fucking. And my dad's dying. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I don't understand. Is it a movie? Is it like this is TV? It's like it's
we're
just
here
watch and you'll love it.
Review the life of Harvey Pippick.
Oh, that was.
He's dead
oh,
now.
I love it. Hey, don't get up.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. I'm like, can I
Yeah.
put that into my will? Just completely roast me as I'm sitting there, open casket.
Oh my God,
please.
so good.
Yeah.
That would be the best way to go for sure.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. And not a lot of people have seen that movie. I swear, I mentioned it or referenced it, and I just have to explain it, and you're not going to explain it. You're not going to explain that.
No,
I tried explaining Haggard.
You got
fucking Haggard. I can't explain Haggard.
Yeah.
You
Try
know?
and find a copy of it. I think at one point they made a DVD of it, but then like you can find clips on YouTube. But it
Yep.
is just the sense of humor that I like absolutely love. I mean, it's along
Yep.
the lines of the Naked Guns and like anything.
Very
like
Naked Gun. Yeah, right.
You know?
Yep. Well, yeah, I had a list of things to say. I mean, I could just talk about fucking movies all night, but I'm right over in Pittsburgh. Oh, hold on. My little one's coming up. What are you doing?
Down there in Pittsburgh.
All right. My 2-year-old's supposed to be asleep, but he wanted to join today. Come
Who
here.
is it?
My 2-year-old.
Oh, cool.
Come here. Well, just turned 3. Say hi, then you're going to bed. Say hi.
Hey, buddy.
Look.
Hi. Hey, dude.
Look at this.
I like
Watch
your
this.
hair.
Can you hear? Say hi.
Hi, bud.
All right. You say
Super
goodnight,
cute,
go back to
man.
bed?
Yeah, I like your little mohawk, man.
You say goodnight, go back to bed? Good night. Okay.
Bye-bye, bud.
Go back down. Go with mama. Go ahead. All the way. He was asleep
Yeah.
2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Back to bed. All the way down. I heard little pitter patters.
That's awesome.
Like Stewie.
Is that your only boy or?
2 boys. I got lucky.
Oh, rad. Yeah.
As soon as they said the second one's a boy,
Yeah.
instantly. I'm like, good.
Yeah.
No girls. All my buddies have girls. My buddies here watching have girls. I'm like,
Yeah, I have
oh,
a girl.
God.
I have a little girl. And so I'm the opposite. I'm like psyched that it's a girl because the boys, my siblings have boys and stuff, and they can be rowdy. So like I have this sweet little girl that's just like all delicate and whatever, and like a boy's like smashing the windows. I mean, I think in terms of if it were anything like me, it's like I'm already in the emergency room at like, super young, breaking noses, splitting chins open and breaking arms and doing all that. And that was the way.
They're rowdy. Yeah. They're 3 and 6. So it's like right at that, that stage of beating the shit out of each other. Oh, and the wife's here. Did you come to claim the little one? So you talked to Raab. Wasn't that fun? Yes. Yes, it was. All right. Good night. Bye, Raab. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Bye,
Right here.
Bye, Rob.
Bye, Raab.
Have a good night's sleep, buddy.
Nice. All right. Say good night. Come on. It's dead air in here, little boy.
Love you so much.
Yeah, that's all my stuff. All right. I love you. Go to bed. All right. Anyways, well, you're a dad. You get it. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
Like when people call and there's just screaming in the background and I'm just carrying a conversation, they're like, do you need to go? I'm like, no. Why? What's the problem? They're like, I just hear like screaming, like multiple people screaming. Like, well, she's yelling at the oldest to stop throwing sand at the youngest one, but then the youngest one hit him. We're fine. What's the problem?
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, we are not that far apart. If you're still in, are you still in Philly area? Right?
Yeah, I moved back here not too long ago. Yeah.
Too cool. Yeah. I'm right over the dead space of Pennsylvania where it's like Pittsburgh and Philly. And then I just go, there's nothing else in the middle. Yeah. There's not a Gettysburg or Harrisburg. It's just nothing.
I went to Shippensburg, so I'm familiar with the dead space in the middle of Pennsylvania. No, I was saying you down there, Yin's down there, like, that's all my buds. Because I have a lot of buds from like Greensburg, Latrobe, and like all that. So I'm familiar for sure.
Yeah, when Yins are all together, it comes out a lot worse, and people from around here are like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
And the drunker you get, the more it comes out. So I'm on here, I'm like,
the Delco accent around here.
Yep. And then I heard
what you doing?
I had to be educated on John.
Oh yeah.
And a Philly dude was telling me, and I was like, I don't understand. They're like, you've never seen Men in Black? I go, I love Men in Black movies. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, he says it right in the movie. I'm like, Will Smith said John. He's like, yeah. They're like, the old busted John.
That
I'm like,
word, I always get annoyed by that whole thing because it's like that word was a thing when we were younger. And then nobody really said it for a long time.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it became popular to say it again. And then Wawa had shirts of John and everything's John.
Oh, cool.
Up with the John. But no, it was just, you're seeing my inner grouch come out. But it is like, all right, yeah, everybody said that when we were growing up. But it's like, now it's like the popular word or something.
That's
but you're like, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, no, there's definitely a different language in this area of the world. I lived out in LA for a long time. And yeah, coming back here was like a culture shock for sure.
oh God, yeah. Yeah, we lived out there for a minute for her job, and I was trying to do just like any kind of PA work. I ended up just like changing oil, making no money, but I was on the beach. So I was like, we knew it was temporary for like a year. I'm like, this is heaven. You know, her
Yeah,
work,
Brad.
she made enough to get like Disney passes, Universal passes. We went to the Channel Islands. We went to
Oh,
filmings,
cool.
everything we could think of, Alcatraz, and then went down to San Diego. Everything we could think of, just making dick. But there's like oil and sand on my clothes, and I'm like, I will absolutely do this for a year for sure. This is the best. Always known we'd come back to Pennsylvania. We have the itis. We're born here. We saw everything else. We're like, man, houses are fucking cheap here, man.
Yeah.
And schools are good, and it's like everybody knows kind of here, and you move back. But yeah, I had a bunch of Philly friends too. They kind of migrated near here for school, and then they just stayed, because maybe they didn't have too many friends back east or whatever. But yeah, I got some Philly education, and then we went to Philly. It just being so close, we're like, I have to go. So we went and had a Geno's and saw the Bell and went home.
Would you say you went to Geno's?
Geno's, yeah.
Oh yeah. See, that's the other thing is if like you're from here, you're like, oh, you don't eat that. It's
Right.
garbage.
And that's
Yeah.
what I got from my Philly buddies when I
Yeah.
came back. Like, you didn't go to Pat's? You didn't go to this other place? You go? I'm like,
Pat's
I'm a
garbage.
tourist. I'm literally a tourist. And I know of Rocky, the Bell, and Geno's. That's all I know about.
You're like, please point me in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm always a big fan of D'Alessandro's. I feel like that's the actual jam.
Okay.
People love to say Jim's on South Street, but I feel like Jim's is just the one tiny little step up from Pasagenos, which is like dog food. But the D'Alessandro's has like a real cheesesteak, and it's got like that vibe of like the soup Nazi thing on Seinfeld, where like
nice.
it's so little, and you got to get in there and then just say it, and they're like mad at you, and then you have to get out of the way and get to this and get and it's like, okay, this is legit.
That was the Permanis is our thing, and the original Permanis in the Strip. It's the same way. Like, I always get extra slaw because the slaw is like candy. So I'm always like, order my sandwich extra slaw. Everywhere I've been, every other Permanis, 20 others, are like, oh great. You go to 18th Street and you say extra anything. You see them right, and they go, what do you want? And like, never mind, I'm fine. Whatever you give me. I don't even need a cheesesteak. If you give me anything else, I'll eat it. I don't care. You're great. You're beautiful. I don't care what you give me.
Just please don't hurt me.
Just don't yell at me, because it's an old lady. You're like, it's like your grandma yelling at you. Like, you're gonna hurt me. You're gonna hurt my feelings if you tell me again that my order is stupid or whatever. But yeah, I was gonna ask about Westchester. I feel like I've been there, even though I haven't, through all of the footage, like all of the CKY shit and all of the Haggard stuff. And
we all grew up there. It's like this. It was this tiny little town. Like, I feel like it was like tumbleweeds when we were growing up, but then it got more built up over time. But it was cool. Like, a lot of people from the area when Jackass started, and they would see, like, we're at the Acme because that's where Bam's dad was working. Doing that, and we would like show up and shoot
paintballs. Yeah, right.
That kind of stuff, and do the shopping carts there. And so people from the area were psyched to see, like, holy shit, that's the Acme right up the street, or and be able to see the little landmarks. And I think it definitely got a little recognition for this small little town that we grew up in. But it was like a cute little town that people kind of just dug it, and it's gotten bigger for sure. There's a lot more restaurants, that kind of stuff, but always a cool little spot. And I think it's what generated what happened with the CKY stuff. Was we were bored out of our minds because it was this little town where you can relate if you're outside of Pittsburgh. It's like nothing's going on. What can we do to make things interesting? And it was like, all right, jump in the shopping cart, push them in that, and then all right, do this little like skit that we were making, or Brandon will do a freestyle or do prank calls or stuff like that. And it was just all those kind of things just to cure boredom. And Westchester just happened to be the backdrop. And I think, when after living in LA, you realize like those kind of things were kind of impossible out there because there's like a big film industry. So if you run around with a camera, they're like, where's your permit, sir? And like that kind of stuff. But like in the small town, you could just do whatever you wanted to do. You could just go film something. Like we would go to the Wendy's and just like fuck with the salad bar and the food bar thing. Cause back in the day, it used to have that like taco bar thing, and you would, so you would just do stupid shit where you put it all in a tray and then go trip and fall and knock it all over everywhere. And just to cause a scene. And in a small town, like people are cool with that, but if you're in a city or whatever, like you're probably getting in trouble quickly. And as things went and as we started shooting the shows around here, then people started to kind of realize like we were here, and I think it was like, oh man, they, you know, then it would cause more of a scene, and it was harder as time went. But for sure, you know, in the beginning, it was just like, again, like that cured boredom in a small town kind of feeling. And I honestly think that's why Jackass or CKY or Viva La Bam or any of this stuff resonated with people so much, because everyone could relate. You know, we all grew up in small towns. We all had buddies that we wanted to like do stupid pranks to and did shit to, you know, on sleepovers and things like that. So yeah.
Because there was footage from you guys from like, I mean, childhood, like high school, right? Or younger?
I mean, yeah, there's stuff from even before that. Like, I mean, there's like Team X stuff. Like, so Bam, when we were growing up, like his dad built him 2 half pipes in his backyard. And that was like, I mean, there was, Steve Riesinger had like a half pipe up the street, but it was like falling apart. My one buddy, Andrew and Brian McNally, they had a ramp too, but like, it was like hard to get to. Nobody really had them, and theirs was smaller. So his dad built like a bigger one, like a 6 foot with a 7 foot extension, and then a 4 foot. So there's 2, and there's this big clubhouse thing that was like a double decker shed kind of deal, and so we all just hung out there. And this is real young. This is like elementary school, and Team X Bam like started the like a little skate team, you know, and it was like all the kids in the neighborhood, and April, his mom, would like cut an X in the back of our hair.
Oh,
You know?
nice.
And then we, you know, we were all like, it's like we're in this little like mini like, you know, suburban gang or what, you know, what it was like. It was just like,
Yep.
you know, just these innocent little kids.
Oh, look out for these ex-boys.
Yeah, yes, skating and stuff. But it was funny, man, because as you got older, you know, as you got into middle school and stuff, like skateboarding was not what it is today. You know, when like this is the 90s, so like
Oh, yeah.
like now it's like, oh my God, like maybe my kid could be the next Tony Hawk, and like let's all get him into the Olympics and all this weird stuff that's like not a thing back then. So then you were like the little punk, and like your parents were kind of like, don't hang out with those kids, you know. And so in middle school it became that, you know, you became like the outsider kind of kid. And I think I gravitated towards that because that just made sense for me. It was like, I don't really belong in this, and you know, I'm not going to be on the football team or whatever. And you know, partly because of size, but also because of I'm not interested in that. And so I related a lot more to that, you know, skaters and things like that. And the skate culture led to so much with like art, music, and all that. And it's all kind of intertwined. And I think that's really what led to CKY was Bam's brother Jess was a drummer.
Oh, yeah.
And friend Darren Miller was like an amazing, you know, guitar like aficionado, man, insanely talented. So we were in the basement at Bam's parents' house, and in the back skating the mini ramps, and then in the basement like recording stupid songs on on like a 4-track, and like it turned into some freestyle random stuff, jumping on the mic saying dumb shit, and then the band was building, which, you know, became Oil, and Foreign Objects was later basically turned into CKY, the band. And so then there was a mix of the band, the stuff we're filming.
Yeah. What a weird like group. And they both worked. I feel like that's a complete like anomaly. Like
Yeah.
to have literally in one
people,
room are you guys who are going to end up like kind of changing the vibe of fucking MTV, and then the next room is like, I mean, people still go crazy for CKY shit. Like you got to fucking like the group and the band like fucking 10 feet apart is like.
Yeah,
tell me when that happened before that, you know.
It was like a different thing. It was like, you know, there's bands that do that, and then there's like people that make movies or whatever. But yeah, it was this one collective that I always found it to be just so rad that it kind of became that, you know, like it naturally just became that, a bunch of friends just hanging, and that's what it turned into. It wasn't like, hey, we're setting out to do something. It was just naturally occurring, and then it happened to like get recognition.
It probably has to, yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Through Bam skateboarding and stuff, being like he had sponsorship from Fairman Skateboard, from the skate shop in town, and then like they started like helping him out with like, here's a board here, maybe some shoes or whatever, and that led to sponsorship because he was, you know, incredible skateboarder growing up, like you know, stood out over all of us. We all skated, but like he was just, it was very obvious very quickly early. You know, he was obsessed with it, addicted to it, and just great at it. And so that led to the distribution of the you know, of the like videos getting put out in skate shops, and then that's
Oh
what
yeah, right.
people psyched on it. Because, you know, it's funny, like kids would be like, oh, what, did you just like put something on YouTube? It's like, oh, that didn't even exist.
No, yeah.
Like it was like a VHS tape at the skate park thing that then turned into like, oh my God, like the skate shop's going to carry it, and then somebody's going to hear about it, and then somebody's going to buy one, and they're going to lend it to friends, and then the word got around, and like everybody's like, you got to check out this shit, dude. Like there's these dudes doing like wild shit, and more like stuff that everyone can relate to, you know. Like, again, like we just happened to have a camera. It was very similar to everybody's friend group and all that.
I think that's what I think it's why one of the reasons why it exploded, because as soon as, like, we were all filming little stupid shit, everybody was, but as soon as you got, like, I think it was CKY happened for us first. I think CKY happened for us. Someone, you know how it goes, someone gave us a DVD. And then we're like, I think it was CKY2K. I remember seeing that cover getting passed around the friend group. I'm like, well, what is that? So we watch it, and it's like, we're doing this. We're literally doing like this kind of shit. And then two of our buddies were six skaters. One was sponsored like locally. We're like, there's even like skaters around. And then it's like, everybody was in bands at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a fucking band. Like, what the fuck is, like, we should be doing all this shit. And then it was Jackass on TV, Tom Green, like that whole like hand cam shit. We're like, guys, this is the same quality we're making right now. So then it was just like through the roof. And that's why I put together, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, I found like 5 clips when I was a kid, and I put them on Instagram, and I tagged him like, this is your fucking phone.
I was like, wait, you said it was Jackass or something, and then I was like, oh, and then I put it together like, oh, this is not us, but this is, yeah, you guys, you're saying like it inspired that.
We did, because we were doing it, but then now we had the, my name is this, and this is called this. Like, that's all it fucking took, man. Like, everything we did. Like, I remember one time a buddy was driving a car. We're going to film something stupid, and someone turns the camera. I'm like, punch him in the back of the head. I'm like, why? I'm like, it'd be funny. It's rolling, so you're fine. And I just crushed my buddy in the back of the head.
Yeah.
He turns around, and I'm like, it's for the film. He's like, oh, okay. Did you? I'm like, I'll give my intro later. And I had to, like, pretend like it happened. It was about to happen, give my intro. My name's Chris. I'm going to punch Joe in the head. Then everything was absolved. Everything was okay. And no matter what you did, like, you could fuck up their property, their clothes, their nose, didn't matter. As long as it was filming and we could put out a video later. But yeah, we were all doing it. So yeah, it makes perfect sense that it's like very genuine. This is us fucking around. This is us playing. This is him skating. It was just like completely organic, and we all fucking got it.
Somebody just put up, it's for the film. It's for the film. It's for the film. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was
Yeah, and
no,
by the way,
real
quick, let me tell everybody,
also,
guys, if you have questions, throw them right. I've seen some people are just like going crazy with questions. If you throw them in the bottom right, there's a little word bubble with a question mark. There's like 10 or 12 in there. If you throw them in there, I have every intention of picking as many as I can for as much time as this man gives me when we're all done, for sure. But there's no way for us to keep up with the feed.
Oh, yeah.
Throw them in that bubble, and we'll ask him at the end, for sure, I promise.
Cool. But yeah, I forget what I was saying. For the film, it was, you know, the idea was just to always be like, you just sacrifice everything, right? Like, well, at the time we had like little shit jobs. Like, I was a pizza delivery boy, and so it'd be like, just skip work and come film this, you know. And at that point in life, you don't have any fucking responsibilities, so it's rad. You can just be like, that was the mission, was let's go film as much as we can. Let's constantly do this and that. You know, just having that opportunity to have that little incubator for all of us to sort of do that is what led to it. But again, you would never know that like stupid shit you're going to do was going to end up being a TV show, and you could never predict any of that.
That's what I was going to ask too. Like, how did that even happen? Where you guys are filming shit from grade school, and then none of us know it out here, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, there's DVDs, and it felt like the next day there was fucking Jackass with all you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've heard the story. I've it's out there for sure. But the story was basically that Big Brother Skateboard Magazine was the skateboard magazine that
Jeff, right?
Yeah, Tremaine, and you know, that was the magazine that it was kind of the magazine version of the video stuff, you know. So they also did a video called, I believe it was called Crap, I always get mixed up because there's a book called Shit. There's and something poop, and then there's like, yeah, crap or
Right.
whatever. But that like magazine was just wildness, like on the skateboard tours, like shooting fireworks off in the van, like all, doing all the kind of stuff that was just crazy. But it was like it documented in like photo and journal style, so they made a video called Crap. We had made the first CKY video, then the second CKY video, and I think it was basically after the second CKY video, that's when Tremaine was like taking notice of what we were doing. They had been doing what they were doing, saw what we were doing, and that's when he reached out to Bam, was like, yo, I kind of want to put this team together because I'm trying to pitch this TV show to MTV, because Spike Jones, who's, one of the executive producers of Jackasses, he was just, his career was kind of taken off. He had done like the Beastie Boy videos. He just did Being John Malkovich. He just directed that movie, and he had all these connections in with MTV and everything. And he was really kind of blowing up, and he was buds with Tremaine, and so and also Spike had done, but I think the girl skateboard video. I'm not sure. My timeline gets screwed up, but like he had directed that, like one of the girl skateboard videos. He did a lot in BMX. He was in that world so much, skateboarding and everything, as well as music with the Beastie Boys, Fatboy Slim, like all these other things that he had directed. And
Weezer too, I think he's in it, right? The Buddy Holly was him.
and a whole bunch. So like he was just so like dialed into
Balls deep in the industry.
Everything, and him and Jeff were good buds, and they together figured out how to make that pitch for Jackass, and that would involve a bunch of clips from the Big Brother video and a bunch of clips from the CKY videos, and then they put together that pilot, and then what happened is they came out and like filmed a few more things for the pilot episode. I ended up dislocating my shoulder in a shopping cart on the pilot, and I remember like I always joked with Tremaine and Knoxville about it, because when they came out, I was 19, about to turn 20, and we were filming a couple bits for this thing and for this pilot, and I didn't know who they were, right? So they like Knoxville, I think, was like 28, 29, and Tremaine was maybe like 30, 31. And I was like, who are these? Because Knoxville's real name is PJ, like Philip John, but we went by Johnny like on the show, but like PJ is what everybody calls him. So they're like, this dude PJ and Jeff and whatever. I'm like, and I remember being like, who are these old ass dudes? Because they were like 29 and 30, and you're like,
right.
And when
old
you're 19,
fucks.
that's old as fuck,
Yeah,
So
right.
like, but I remember, and then but just thinking about like right away as soon as we met them, there was just such a like a connection, like that kismet thing or whatever.
Nice.
It was just kind of like, dude, they have the same sensibility. They're funny as fuck. Same thing, and like immediately within like hours, you felt like I've known these dudes forever, and it just felt like whatever joke you were saying, they were laughing at it, they were throwing something back, and it was fucking funny as hell, and it was just like, oh shit, like
Can't beat it.
I think I might have briefly met Tremaine like when we were younger, because they came to town and Bam shot this photo in Philly, like ollieing over his dad on this staircase thing. And I remember that like 411 used to come to town, like a bunch of people for Bam skating. And that's how I met them way younger, but I hadn't seen him in forever. And then and then got reconnected with like Cossack and Rick Cossack, and he's he's like legendary skate photographer and obviously one of the main camera dudes for Jackass. And he's like, he's known for being the one that'll like just like get in the he'll be in the middle of like the craziest situation and be all freaked out. And he's hilarious. And he was like
better than Lance barfing on all you guys.
Yeah, and Lance barfing on everybody. Lance is fucking hilarious too. Like, awesome. I actually got to shoot as one of the operators on the new movie, and it was just so rad to be on the other side with Rick and Lance and everybody. And it was funny because there was this one scene where they were doing like musical chairs, and this was like I think we were doing it was like the test shoots when we were just getting started on the new movie.
The new one just came out with like Poopies and all them, you mean?
Yeah, Jackass
Oh my
Forever.
God,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
dying. Yeah.
yeah. So I worked on that on the other side, like as a camera guy, and right, like they were doing musical chairs, and it was these
I
airbags on these recliners
remember.
or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I can't remember if it was in the movie or
It
in
was in.
5 or whatever, but
Yep.
yeah. But Knoxville was fucking with them and not hitting the button, so they would sit down and then it wouldn't happen. And then the one time that it did happen, like Wee Man goes flying, obviously, like, and if you saw it, like Wee Man goes flying and lands in the
In the
middle, like,
middle.
on
Yeah.
all the fucking equipment, because it was not like no one thought that was gonna happen like
And
that.
not
But
padded. Yeah.
no
Just the
one
hydraulic
really
pipes.
like they didn't make a stink of the fact that like when they sat down, like they were still kind of prepared, and Wee Man went flying, but Dave England, like because of how Knoxville fucked with him and didn't hit a button, he like relaxed on that one sit down and like because he did it, whipped his head so bad, like full whiplash, and like it was the crazy. I was on the slow mo cam on him,
Oh
and
man.
just saw that and obviously Wee Man's flying through the air and landing on like all the canisters and shit took precedent, and that was the focus. But like, dude, Dave's fucking whiplash thing was so goddamn awful and in slow mo. So there's like, it's
Man.
funny to be on the other side of the camera, but right when I'm like over here filming this, and Kozik just like after that went down, he just looks over to me and goes, "Aren't you so glad you're over here now?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Dude, hell yeah!"
Like, dude, way
Better to
so
be
excited to be on
this
this side of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it a couple of times because man, Poopies slays me, dude. I don't know.
He,
They're all
he
funny, the new guy, but that dude, I can't. When he was running through like was it like a blind obstacle course or just blind run all the shit in the way? Dude, I couldn't breathe. I'm gonna watch it tonight. Like that dude, I feel like he is more of the new guys. Like that's the guy I feel like has the same like cut from the same cloth as a lot of you guys. I mean,
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
like the big dude's a big
Exactly.
dude and it's hilarious, you know. And you throw him in a cactus, that's great. But like Poopy's just like
Yeah.
his whole demeanor, man, his whole personality. It just
Dude, and
but then he
he's
crushes like the
so
silent mind thing. But then he smashes it like not
yeah,
a peep.
he's so rad. Like, I mean, honestly, everybody, everybody that is like quote unquote the new cast have all been friends for a long time, and they're like, it's like they're part of it anyway before that even happened.
Yeah.
Like each one of them all in the crew, and they all made sense to be like stepping up, and being in that. But yeah, Poopies just has such a positive attitude
Man,
about
he's
being
funny.
there. It's like, oh, I just got bit by a snake. He's like, all right, man, what are we doing next? He's just psyched, and it's like he's getting his dick. I don't even know if they did this one in the movie. I can't remember everything that made the movie. But they're like right off the bat, it was like him and Dave were just like flattening their dicks in this ping pong thing, and they had their dicks were literally like paper thin flattened in these vice grip things. It was crazy. Like I was like, I didn't even know a dick could get that flat out, but Poopies is like, he gets up there and right away, when you're standing around someone who's just got a bigger dick than you, and you're sitting there with like your little egg corn. But they like he just, and right away he's like, oh man, I have a way smaller dick than everybody, like
Over it.
It's just hilarious though, because he didn't give a fuck and was like, who cares? Embarrass me, like put it out there. Like, so many dudes that would be worried about like, oh, I don't want to,
I'm not doing it.
Expose this. But
he was over it,
no,
man.
he didn't give it
over it quick.
And like they say, the grower not a shower kind of thing. But I never saw the boner, but I'm imagining that thing's huge.
It better be.
Yeah, no, but it was funny, man. It was wild because it was like one of the test days too, and it was like just fully flattening out. I'd never seen a dick that flattened. It was crazy.
I hate to tell this whole room that the only reason I know that is because of BME Pain Olympics from like 15 years ago, and someone goes, "Oh, you got to watch this. We're recording everyone's reaction videos."
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want a reaction videos. They're like, "We stand back here. You watch Two Girls One Cup or BME or all this other shit, and we just film you." I'm like, "That's stupid."
yeah.
And then as I'm like watching all these videos, just like, of course they're a great idea because you see that once, you can't unsee it, it's burning your brain. But all the reactions, and then I had to do it to 20 people. I'm like, I'm gonna make my buddy Kyle watch BME, the whole thing, the nails, the plastic getting screwed together, all that stuff.
Oh, that stuff is that's too much for me. I was always like, I had like a fecal fetish, but but in terms of yeah, any of the pain shit. I'm like not the best at it.
No.
But I was gonna say, dude, fucking Dave England's dick got fucking annihilated in a lot of the filming, and some of it didn't even make it. Also, Aaron's dick, like with the pogo stick, that was the worst
Oh, that
fucking
was.
thing. Way to see
Oh
that.
man.
And then seeing Dave, like Dave was like about to cry because he was like, I hate that I did this, like, because he jumped on it and did
Yeah,
it.
he did
Like,
it.
so upset because Aaron was going away in an ambulance with his fucking nuts ripped. But
The Saban
they,
ice hockey shot looked worse to me. As
they
an
did
ex-hockey player,
they did
that one was
bit,
scary, man.
yeah, they did that bit like where they tied their dicks to cinder blocks. Like I think it was in Old School or some movie or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They did that bit, and it was like one of the first things that we were doing. Like I think when the movie was starting, like not the test. This was when we were shooting the movie stuff, and right off the bat, like Dave only has one nut, so it tied around the balls and the dick, but I don't know what happened. I was on slow-mo on his dick, like specifically, and then the cinder block goes flying and it pulls down and it yanks so hard that like something popped and like his whole dick went like purple. And I thought his dick got ripped off. Like I was like so upset, like because in slow-mo, like something it was like the thing pulled and it looked like it ripped his dick off. And it was like, I was like, no! Like, I was like, oh my God, his dick!
Right.
Like, I really thought for sure. And I was like trying to watch the slow-mo. And then you could finally see, like, because he was on the ground in pain and you couldn't get him up. And you're like, I think his dick is off, you know? Like, but it was like, I think it was one of the knots that twisted some weird way. And then it looked like his dick came off, but it didn't. But it was full black and blue, like purple, like immediately. Like, you know how like a bruise takes like a day or two to really set in? Like
Not when your dick's yanked by a cinder block and rope. Okay.
I was like, dude, filming that movie, like I had never been so concerned about so many other dudes' dicks in my life. Like I was on the phone with Dave later, like, yo, what's going on with your dick? Like, you know, like, and then Aaron's thing, like calling, like, yo, what's happening with your nutsack? Like, is the ball still in it? You know, and like, I'm just saying, like, I've never been in a spot where I was just like, all right, let me dial up my buddy and see how his dick is doing, you know, like, but that's what that.
Like, while I'm at it, I'll call my buddies from high school. Hey man, how you been? How's your dick? Is your dick all right? You know, I'm making calls tonight.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man, too funny.
but it was a lot of fun to kind of be back with the group and laughing and joking and filming new shit. But,
oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You got to do. You're not out. You know what I mean? You're still in it on the other side of things. That's pretty awesome. Because I was going to end up asking about your company too.
What's that?
I was going to end up asking about your company too along those lines.
Yeah. So I mean, when I moved out to LA and I got in the Cinematographers Guild and worked on a lot of scripted stuff and those kind of things and in the camera, you know, in the camera department and then, you know, when I moved back here, I kind of did some traveling still for some stuff. Jackass was filming when I was living out there. Then the pandemic thing happened. Came back this way to be near family with my daughter. And then, like, the movie was picking back up, so going out and doing that. And then when I came back here, I just started my little production company. It's nothing crazy. I do a bunch of, like, corporate stuff to pay the bills. And then I did a couple music videos, did some music videos with 96 Bitter Beings, which is like the new incarnation of KY, Darren Miller's.
I think someone on their Instagram is in here hanging out too right now.
Oh yeah, cool. So did a couple music videos for those guys, which was a blast. You know, it's always fun like working with like, you know, people that, you know, have been lifelong friends and so doing that, and then you know, do little short films and passion projects like that on the side, but mostly like, you know, paying the bills, corporate kind of shit.
I saw the client list on your site. I mean, that's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Yes, and did I read the why it's called Green Gate? It's pretty cool too on the page.
Yeah. My grandpa. Yeah. So it's kind of that little sentimental thing, but yeah, we've had a cabin in our family for 90 years. My grandfather built it with his dad when he was like 12 in 1935. And so, yeah, when we were growing up, I would go up there all the time, you know, with my dad, with him. And we would you had to paint the gate green for like the national like the forest or whatever regulations. And so, yeah, when it was time to name something, I kind of was just thinking of my pop, and that's why I named it that. And it was, just rad memories of that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah, yeah. A little bit of nostalgia, mixed a little bit of family. Yeah, can't beat it.
Yeah.
I had to ask if there was either one particular or a couple like injuries during CKY or Jackass that do I even ask like what was the worst? Because the one in my head that looks the worst, honestly, out of anybody before all the CK or the Jackass dick ripping off footage, was when the dudes from Bloodhound Gang fired you into that pop
Yeah.
machine. That one,
Yeah.
because I
That was
remember us
terrible.
rewinding it, going, I don't know what limb is where. Like it looked like just all face, but it wasn't face. It was like they
Yeah.
were like, is it collarbone? But I thought I saw a foot go up. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't
that was
even
a
tell
bad
like
one.
what part
I
of
mean,
you hit. Like
I was hammered, and like I think when people will be like, "Oh, if you're drunk, you're just loose," and whatever, it's like, I was really drunk, and it was still fucking hurt bad. That one sucked. Yeah, I got a concussion from hit my head on the metal. I hit like the only metal part on that soda machine, like
yeah,
because there's like there's like that part with the change, and that's like right where my head nailed,
ugh.
and there's like all these other plastic parts, but that part was where my head hit.
Yeah. You couldn't hit
Um,
like the big bubbly plastic center.
yeah,
It
yeah, it
was like
couldn't
a
have been that.
pillow. Yeah, right.
So then, but the other thing that was really rough about that one is when I hit my like funny bone kind of thing and displaced my ulnar nerve. So like I learned
Oh,
about funny bone through this, that like the nerve that runs through there is actually what, when you tap that bone and it hits that nerve, and that's what makes your arm like kind of go
right.
numb. And that nerve had gotten moved outside of the bone. So I, for like 6 months, they were like basically like you could have surgery and try and get it replaced, or if you wait, like it might reset.
Right.
So,
Like
all
pop
right,
back
I'll
in.
just reset instead of doing the surgery thing, because I was like, we were in the middle of filming and stuff. I didn't
Right.
want to have. I wasn't as badass as Ryan, where he's like jumping off his shit with fucking broken arms. Like, but yeah. So, but for like 6 months, man, if you like touched any part of your arm, it was the funny bone thing immediately. So
Oh,
like even up here and here, you could just feel the funny bone. So that one sucked. I mean, that yeah, concussion and that thing. I tore my rotator cuff in another shot. Shopping carts were not kind to me. I broke my tailbone in a shopping cart. Like those were rough. The shopping carts, like some people just somehow didn't get broke off like I did in those. But it was like, yeah, that was bad. I mean, just a culmination of a bunch of different things. I think for me, ultimately, in the long run, the biggest ones were like so many concussions. I had a lot of concussions.
yeah.
And that at one point was concerned about CTE stuff. You get like spikes and depressions and weird things, and then you're like, oh shit, like this might not be good. I had to change diets and focus on a lot of things to like sort of try to heal that stuff that had happened
Yeah.
from
Right.
concussions. So those ended up being bad. But all in all, I wasn't as wild in the stunt category as someone like Ryan or
Right.
Knoxville or
Knoxville.
yeah,
Jesus.
Knoxville's crazy. Everyone always will be like, oh, is Steve-O the wildest? So it's like he's the loudest, and he does do wild shit, and he's love Steve. He's fucking funny as hell. But when you say I think like when there's actually a screw loose, it's Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Like,
I
like
heard
there's
I
like
heard him on Stern
yeah,
talking about that bull hit.
yeah,
Like that is insanity. I mean, you can tell he got fucked up on it, but like the movie doesn't go, oh, and he suffered this. We have no fucking
yeah,
idea.
because
See,
it's not meant to be like, hey,
right,
this is really depressing,
like
because it's actually
oh, I
fucking
got hit.
awful.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he said he was in pain for a year after he was having all this shit. If no one understands what we're talking about, first of all, go see or go watch the newest Jackass. Knoxville gets bulldozed by a bull, and the injuries he sustained from that, he talks about on the Howard Stern show,
yeah.
and you can just go to YouTube and find these.
I mean, and this is like the bad one
Unbelievable.
now, but his fucking dick got like he had to have like he tore his urethra or whatever. He had to have like a piss bag forever. Yeah, I mean that dude's injuries are insane. Like he's by far the reason he is Johnny Knoxville is because he is by far the biggest jackass out of
And
everything. Like
he's
he
never
is
hesitated. He never
no,
hesitated. He never like, oh man, he
oh,
just goes and just like
no,
runs into a
yeah. I mean, I
anaconda
love
pit.
it. Like light a cigarette when you're about to die.
Yeah.
Like it's so comical and hilarious. And I mean, and he's he is a true professional at his craft for sure.
Yeah, and just like at any point you're gonna get nut slapped, or any point he's gonna kick. Like just
Oh yeah,
there's
yeah.
no.
Well, I know that was the funniest thing
Can you imagine
because
the anxiety you guys have?
oh,
Like
I know because on the newest one, like I came on, as a camera guy, and so PJ's kind of like, oh, like, am I supposed to treat you different? Like, what the hell? Like, how am I supposed to be around Raab now?
right,
And like normally for every year, forever, it's always been like, cover your nuts, you walk by
right.
him, do this thing, like all that kind of thing.
Don't
You
take a piss in
know
the
to
porta
have your
john.
nuts covered on set, but like, so I'm in the bathroom, and I came out. This is like on one of the first days, and I come walking out of the thing, and it's just like, boom, like right next to my head, like fucking this. I don't know what it was, like a volleyball, but it was like 100 miles an hour, right next to my head, and he's like dying laughing, and he's like, I didn't know if I could fuck with you, but can I? And I was like, dude,
Oh,
yes,
gosh.
always, like always. And I was stupid enough to go into the bathroom and not know that there's a
Yeah,
goddamn like a pitch, like one of those pitch
yeah, right. Yep,
like
pitch
covered with
machines.
a tarp, because there's shit with a tarp everywhere, so it's so unsuspecting.
Right.
You're like, yeah, this thing's the next thing, and we're getting set up for this, and you don't know. So like that's why everyone's like, how do they not know? It's like because the
It's
whole
everywhere.
set is chaos, so you
Yeah.
don't know like what you're walking into or what's happening. So yeah, when it just missed me, so it didn't like the cut, but if it would have hit me right in the face, for sure it would
Right.
have been.
Like, oh, the
He
good
got the
old days of
SIBO like right after
concussions.
that.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember seeing that one. I said, oh, the good old days, back to concussions from
Yeah, yeah,
Knoxville and the
yeah,
boys.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And like I
Great
had
seeing you
just
guys
had a
again.
baby, so like I had just become a dad, so I'm all in this soft like, oh, I'm just gonna go nurture my little girl, like whatever. And it's like, whoa, fuck, like oh, okay, I forgot what I was like in the middle of right
Yeah,
now.
just
Yeah,
I can imagine. I mean, everybody's anxiety, and the good thing is you get to see it on a bunch of different takes and cuts and stuff, and people just
yeah,
like all the time, like whether it's Bam or like Aaron, just like always just ducking and looking around. And
yeah,
I mean, even when we were filming stupid shit here, you'd just be like, anyone goes near you, you're flinching. I can't imagine having
yeah,
Knoxville around you, or oh
yeah,
gosh, just be like just mad, absolutely maddening, just over your shoulder all the time.
yeah,
But I mean, another thing I wanted to ask was like Jackass, and especially now with the internet, CKY are like not even like like it's global. Like, do you feel that? Like, yeah, there's a ton of people following right now, and they're all sending hearts and questions and shit. But like, that blows my mind of being like, it was like a wave of MTV. It was this national thing. Then it was like, this shit is like a part of history now. Just like pop culture, but it's like history.
for sure.
I just have no idea what that would even feel like.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, like I was much more heavily involved in front of the camera when I was like younger, a lot of years ago. But like I said, when I got behind the camera, I think in the height of it for me, like 2005, six was like, wow, this is insane. Like everywhere we would go, kind of around the world, people were like, yo, holy shit, and it blows your mind because it's wild. You're like, I'm just some kid from some small town called Westchester, whatever, and it turned into what it is, and it was amazing. It was a hell of a ride. It was so rad to travel the world and do that, and like I said, just laughing with your friends, and I just have some of the greatest memories from all of it. It does blow your mind because you think like, what, that we're just doing stupid shit. You never thought that it could turn into something so crazy. I mean, but this day and age for me, I'm much more out of that world. I'm like behind the scenes kind of deal, and I think I fit well there. I feel good there. I still get to be creative, travel, and do all the cool stuff, and be a part of all those fun things. And then I kind of get my privacy too.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, do you still get recognized?
From time to time, but not as much. Obviously, as back in the day when the shows were on and all that. But once in a while. But it's always like right now, like it's such a rad thing because when you do get recognized now, it's like this little nod of like, hey, I know you. And then you're like,
Nice.
hey, what's up, man? And then it's kind of cool like that. And not to say that it ever was so insane, but there was periods where you're like, wow, it's kind of wild to like be like just trying to get some random thing at the store, and then oh yo, did you marry the Russian order bride? Like, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And not to sound like some whiny bitch about it, because it was rad. It was a fun time, and it was cool to be able to ever experience that and do that. But then also I like my anonymity as well. So as time has has floated on, and like I said, shifted to the behind the thing. I think that's a better fit for me
Yeah,
nowadays.
for sure. Do you still stay in touch with any of the guys?
Yeah, everybody.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean everybody. I'll text with Deco from time to time, and just saw Rake the other day, and I hang out with Jess a ton. We go over and fuck around, and he's always recording some music or something. I just went to the '96 Bitter Beings show in Philly.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Darren's fucking rocking out and doing his thing, and yeah, I see them. And then that's like the CKY dudes, and then as far as the Jackass, like I stay in touch with Pontius probably the most.
Cool.
Our babies were both due on the same day, and so we, it was crazy. Like his little boy and my little girl were due on the same day, which was wild. You're like, dude, what are the chances? And he was born a couple weeks early, and then she was born a day after her due date. But I was still living out there then, and so we all got together and would on the early days of our kids, we joke that it's like her first boyfriend, his first girlfriend, kind of thing.
We all do that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, but they were buds, just like as soon as they were born, and we were kind of going through it together and got to experience that. And so we keep in touch a lot, and I love him. He's like, I mean, I love everybody, all the guys are like
Sure.
stuff. So, but like, Pontius is just such a sweetheart, and he's one of the funniest fucking dudes ever. So like, yeah, him and May and we stay in touch pretty closely. And then I'm always in touch with Cossack, one of my best buds. I mean, while I lived in LA for all those years, I mean, we were hanging out almost every day, whenever I'm not working, whenever he's not working, we were hanging out. Yeah, and Steve, like I see Steve from time to time. We're both in recovery, so that was rad. Novak as well. I mean, he's from out here, but yeah, I just saw him the other night at the '96 show, and so I mean, honestly, Dave and Aaron and Jason, or Wee Man as you call him, and Preston. I don't see Preston as much because he's in Missouri, but like when he's out in LA, I'll always see him. Yeah, but yeah, Tremaine, we dude, one time we were watching Tremaine's house, like Rick and I, because Rick will watch his dogs and like
Right.
we'll, yeah, and Rick's like, yo, I put the heater on in the and I don't even know if Tremaine knows, but he's like, I put the heater on in the hot tub thing, like, well, yeah, we'll swim and then we'll jump in the hot tub or whatever. And then him and I, like, it was like a really hot day too. So like it was starting to become like night, but it was like a hot day out.
Right.
We jump in the pool, and the pool was like 105 degrees. He was like, fuck, dude, I put the heater on in the pool, and not in the hot tub. So like we were like, get out. It was the worst feeling. We were just dying laughing, like, dude, we thought but instead, I mean, like, his fucking heating bill is his electric.
Yeah, right. So I planned
yeah.
ahead. It's gonna be nice and warm when we're done in the pool.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it was like fucking the whole pool was like 100 degrees. But yeah, no, I hang out with all the guys. Like I said, I haven't been out there for a few months, but I'll catch up with everybody when I get out there and stuff, because I lived there for a long time, so I have a bunch of buds out there and whatever. And sometimes I'll stay with Pontius or go hang with him or whatever, and him and May, and it's just, yeah, it's rad. So like, I mean, everybody.
That's cool.
Everybody stays in touch, man. It's a brotherly love with everybody, and it's just a brotherhood too of like, we've all been to that same disco once or twice, and we get it,
Yeah, right. Because I always related to Brand, because my skater friends could skate. I couldn't do that. I wasn't really in the bands yet. Later on, it would come, but I could always like bullshit, do voices. I'd be like the guy, and I'm like, that guy, that's the guy. That's the fucking guy. He's not skating. I think one shot, he literally stands on a skateboard and falls down a ramp. I'm like, I can't go down a ramp either. Like, this is great. Okay, that's my fucking guy. Yeah. But then he like, to us on the outside, it's like he just falls off. Like, we don't, someone said he's working around Philly, and I'm like, man, that is fucking wild. So he was on my list. I didn't ask everybody. I'm like, who are my favorites? Because I gravitate to CKY because it was like first, and then I was in love with Bam forever. I wrote him when I was younger. I was telling you, sent me autograph shit when I was younger. I'm like, this is fucking shit. Watching all you guys, but I'm like, why is it that since Brandon's like not accessible, it's like, and I related to him the most. I'm like, why is it that I'm like, I gotta fucking meet that guy. I'm gonna find out. So
it happens once in a while. we always joke like our buddy Aaron Ashcraft. He's been our friend in life, and he's one of those that's always been around. Like played music with Darren when we were younger. He wasn't in the videos, but super funny. Same fucking sense of humor. He calls him Punxsutawney Brandon. You know, and like it's like Punxsutawney Phil. It's
Yeah.
like he once in a fucking blue moon, you'll see him come out and look for his shadow and then get out. But yeah, so he's I think, you know, what it was is like he just likes a quieter life, man. You know, it
Yeah.
gets weird. Sometimes it can get weird when you're like, I just wanted to do this because I like this, not because I want to get like the accolades and the recognition and stuff. And I think it sort of spooks some people. And I, for one, am one of those. It sort of did that to me. And same thing with Brandon is just kind of like, okay, just retreated back into regular life and like being a regular guy and still funnier than fucking anyone I know. And like a creative genius, comedic genius, everything still on a major level, you know, whenever you hang with him and you're dying laughing, he's made some funny ass thing and he just sees the world differently. So it's really cool to, you know, be his bud and still be his bud after all these years. And, you know, there was times when things got weird with everybody and you just had to retreat and figure out what's what, you know, it's a wild ride to go through that kind of
I can't imagine
that Hollywood factory thing, you know.
Yeah, and some people love it, and then like you said, some people just don't. Because there's some people running into him at a certain restaurant and taking pictures with him and stuff. And there's one story that we all gravitated towards. It was like, I said, "Hey, can I get an autograph?" And he's like, "You know what? It's settled. I'm at work. You know, like, can you hang or come back, and then we can talk as much as you want." And then someone went and tried to meet Bran at his work.
Oh yeah.
Literally like on the clock, and he's like, "I really can't like sit down and fuck off, but if you come back, we'll hang." So I guess this guy went back when Brand said he was done his shift, and they hung out. This is a stranger, hung out and talked for like an hour.
Oh yeah.
So all of us guys like just trying to find him, you know, like trying to like connect with him or like fanboy out, or like, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew he'd be cool and like talk about shit.
Oh,
so I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. Yeah, and I'm not going to ask you to do anything, but I am on a mission to just talk to him. Yeah. And so I have this bribery that I made. I made this Haggard figure, and I'm just gonna believe whatever someone said that his place of work is. I'm gonna send it off, and I'm gonna write a letter. So if your friend Brand goes, you'll believe the fucking weird ass fucking thing I just got. They sent to my fucking work. So weird. You'd be like, the guy told me he's gonna do it. Like, he's not a weirdo. He just really wants you to come on the pod or just talk. You know, just wants to. You know, he's not a weirdo. Just wants to hug you and kiss you, open mouth. It's not that big a deal. Stop making it weird.
Yeah.
But me and the buddies were like, I'm fucking sending it, man. I'm fucking sending it. Yeah. I said, I'm going to send it out. Like, if he's cool, I don't give a fuck if nothing comes back. Like,
he's a bad dude. Like, he's the sweetest guy. Like, it's like, I think it's like that. It's like, you know, there's boundaries for sure. But at the same time, we'll sit there and make you laugh your ass off if you have time, if you spend time with them.
Sure. Yeah. And this show is reliant on people like you, man, like just saying yes and saying what's up. If ever you wanted to say someone, this guy is not a weirdo and come on, anybody. You know what I mean? It really is it's a one-man show, me sitting here talking.
Word.
I love talking to you already, and anyone else that would be down to spend some time, man.
Brad, well, hey, do you want to do some of the questions for the people, because I gotta roll in a little bit.
Yep. But, no problem. Let's so there's over 50, so we're gonna do these like a rapid fire.
Yeah.
As fast as possible to get some people's questions out. I'm not asking half these questions, guys. Wow, right off the bat, not asking them.
What are they?
It's BAM shit, and I'm not even gonna repeat it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite CKY song?
Yo, who's on the 96 thing saying what's up, Chris? Is that Twamus?
96 bitter. You might have a message from me in your message in your DMs already.
96. It's got to be Twamus. He's the drummer, so they're in Dallas.
Come on, man. Let's go, man. 96. Let's get on here.
Yeah. But okay. What's the question?
Favorite CKY song?
Oh man, I don't know how the hell you answer that.
I agree.
I don't know. I mean, they just did IDR in full at the 96 Bitter Being show the other day, and you know, it was fucking incredible. I mean, there's so many. I can't say. I always love Close Yet Far because
that's a good
Darren did this like little. He was like strumming around on this like acoustic when we were way younger, and it was just this throwaway little like song he was doing. And I was like, "Yo, you gotta do that."
Oh,
And he's
nice.
like nobody wants to hear that. I'm like, no, because like he
Actually, yeah.
always played like way heavier, and then I remember him because it was not Close Just Far. It was called something else, and there was different lyrics to it.
Right.
But he changed it and rewrote the lyrics to it, and then made that. And like I remember being like, "Whoa, you did it! You fucking did that song!" You know.
I
And
told
like,
you it was good.
It's one of those like just soft. It's like a different pace, like a softer song,
Yep.
but it was rad because it kind of Era of an End is another song that's like those softer ones that they ended albums with, and it was rad to do that. But Hellview is such a rad song. I don't know. There are so many that it's crazy because Disengaged is rad. Like, I mean, all of them. I mean, and even the newer stuff, like the new '96 Synergy Restored album has some really awesome stuff. You should listen to that if that's a really hard loaded question.
Yeah, sure.
What's the next one?
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
These really, guys, these are the ones we want to ask you about favorite color.
I mean, it's weird because blue maybe, but that's my first. But purple has been my favorite color for a little while right now.
Nice. So yeah, I use purple for my logo. I agree. Someone asked if you could do one more Kiki before you go.
Come on, little Kiki. Wait.
Take a little piece of the pop on me. Wow.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the 69 position? This is the kind of questions we get, I guess.
Dude, 69 standing? Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are Deco and Skeletor still a happy couple?
Absolutely.
Any stunts that you absolutely regret doing?
Nah, not really.
Do you have a favorite hymn song?
Oh man, it's hard to remember. I mean, I love Villa and all those dudes and Mijamu and Gas and all. Like I love the time that I got to spend with those guys in the younger years, and I do love, what is that Chris Isaac cover that they did?
Or
whatever that.
It was like the falsetto. Now I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite scene, or I should say, favorite skit from CKY? Is there one that sticks out as your favorite?
No, I don't know. I mean, I think if I think off the top of my head, I love in Haggard the garbage juice air when Brandon's like doing that. It's like, perhaps you're going out with a long haired dude, like that kind of funny things from that.
Yeah, man. Well, that's good. We'll let you run, man. I'm not trying to take up any more of your time. You spent an hour with me, so.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. It's rad, and and keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Fucking A, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Thanks, everyone.
Hell yeah.